It's like I'm on Mars, marching high. I can be hard, but it's going down. Yeah, yeah, Cosmos is friends, increasing my strength. When I remember myself, life can be hard, but it's what we do. Take it to the top. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Two souls colliding. We share the pieces of ourselves. It's perfect timing now. We fueled the flames, but we're still learning to trust, learning to trust. It's never enough, never enough. Burning me up, burning me up. Don't fight the fire. Too much, too fast, burn us out. We walk the wire. Don't make me read your mind. I know it. Learn to trust, learn to trust. It's never enough, it's never enough. Burning me up, burning me up. Forward, picking you up. With my head up, be strong enough. Our love is stronger. And I'll be here. Lead, now we're taking the trip. Right, cause I know you're the one I love is stronger. Baby, I know that it's stronger than yesterday. Two sparks igniting. We left some space for us to breathe. My head is quiet now. I can rest in peace, cause you are more than enough, more than enough. Feeling the rush, feeling the rush. Burning in love, burning in love. Two souls united. It's far away, just so free. If you ever get tired, I think you just need to sleep, cause you're still more than enough, more than enough. Feeling the rush, feeling the rush. Burning in love, burning in love. Forward, picking you up. With my hand, I will be strong enough. Our love is stronger. And I'll be here. My lead, now we're taking the trip. Right, cause I know you're the one I love is stronger. Baby, I know that it's stronger than yesterday. You see me falling apart, no one keep me out of the dark. Out of the dark, out of the dark, out of the dark. learn to love you all the way, 'cause it's so much more than yesterday. From the dust I was born, to the dirt I shall return. When my eyes are closed, in the shadows, my enemies will think they won, but I'm here to stay. Destiny will overcome, no, I am not afraid. Like a phoenix in the night, my soul rise. From the darkness to the light, I feel alive. I'm a fire, burning bright, I'll never die. Like a phoenix in the night, I will survive. Oh, I will survive. All the pain, all the hurt, all the lessons I have learned, I am stronger now. I won't let me down. Oh, my enemies will think they won, but I'm here to stay. Destiny will overcome, no, I am not afraid. Like a phoenix in the night, my soul rise. From the darkness to the light, I feel alive. I'm a fire, burning bright, I'll never die. Like a phoenix in the night, I will survive.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to another Valhallan Campo live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Monday night. I hope you all know what that means. It means we have some amazing Fortnite to watch. I'm very excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. With that being said, let me introduce you very quickly to my teams here. So first off, the first team we'll be watching is the GOAT, and that team is composed of Brady, aka BL Mace, and Nick, aka Mello. The second team we will be watching is the YOYOZ. That team is composed of Parker, aka VHCH17, and Roland, aka RolandBot. And the third team we will be watching is Famous People. And that team is composed of Miko, aka Miko, and Roston, aka Shadow Hymns. So very solid teams tonight, all Division 1 teams. We have a lot this season, so there's a lot to get through, but I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have some Fortnite starting. So with no further introduction, with no further talk necessary, let's tune in and see how the GOATs are going to handle drop 1. All right, currently watching Nick's perspective here. So we're going to start the game off again with the GOATs. Let's see what Nick and Brady can cook up. A very solid team, a very solid fundamental team here. So let's see what they can do. This was a team that Coach Kyle was pretty excited about. He talked a lot about them last week. Talked about how they're pushing each other to be better at the game. So let's hope we see some of that challenge tonight in their gameplay. We will be watching them quite a bit. Sorry, just had to manhandle you guys a little bit there. Had to adjust the mic, but all right, we're good now. And as Nick and Brady land at their drop spot here, gonna do a good job at keeping an eye on things. Doesn't look like anybody actually landed with them, so we're gonna have quite a bit of time to loot this little garage kind of movie booth setup thing here on the edge of this named POI. We will have to keep an eye on our teams tonight. A lot of these players still in the hunt to qualify for the ESC. And realistically, any of our Division 1 teams and even some of our top Division 2 teams are potentially able to get there. They're going to have to fight and battle, though, and really prove themselves as top-tier players here. We're going to see them jump away a little bit here.
This is what happens when you get in help. That's it. No, 48.
And it looks like here we're seeing a lot of these good fundamentals, especially from Nick. Haven't peeked into Brady's screen yet. Let's go ahead and take a little peek on over. It's Brady here doing a great job at using some natural cover here. And as a no build player, something we expect from Brady. So, and we look at his mats, and wow, it pretty much speaks for itself. So these guys playing very solid Fortnite. Let's switch on over to the YOYOZ and see how they're doing. Not my hand, apparently. So we get to look onto rolling screen here. Looks like Parker might have had a glitch, so unable to get his perspective, but we'll try to get that fixed in between the drops here. Gonna watch Roland's perspective for now. And this is a team that has kind of battled some adversity here. Roland just moving up to Mondays at the beginning of the season, so he has quite a bit to learn. Parker being someone that seemingly has been playing competitive Fortnite for a long time now. As we've seen Parker grow throughout the program here. And really now Parker stepping into a different role, having to play that IGO, and really needing to step up here for his team. You guys just continue to play a smart game here. Pretty much what we expect to see from Parker and Roland. These guys are going to be a little picky, going to take combat when they feel necessary, not going to do anything that they don't want to. So going to play just solid, safe Fortnite here as we see these guys continue to farm up. Continue just to manage the game exactly how they want to. Oh, a little bit of a miss input there from Roland as he accidentally jumped over the wingsuit and decides to leave it for some strange reason. Oh, I guess because he already has one. Maybe I should look with my eyes. And actually, the interesting part about this is just where Brady and Nick were. So Brady and Nick a little bit gone now, but actually let's tune back into Brady and Nick and see where those guys are at based on the yo-yos. Brady and Nick not long gone, actually pretty close to where they originally dropped. So this is going to be interesting. We could see some Valhallan Camp Hill on Valhallan Camp Hill rivalry here, as if Parker and Roland aren't careful, they might have this squad of Brady and Nick rolling up on them. Let's see if these guys are going to be able to find those two, or if they're just going to go their separate ways. And so, as of now, it looks like they might just go their separate ways. We're just seeing solid fundamental Fortnite here. Nothing really necessary to happen here. So both of these teams and famous people as well, and I'm pretty sure they already got eliminated, which is why we haven't tuned into them yet. But both of these teams just play very solid fundamental Fortnite. So really important that these guys control the game in every aspect possible. Although we see, looks like Brady and Nick finding a duo. Is that Parker and Roland? We don't know, but we could see some aggressiveness come out of Brady and Nick here, as they're keeping pings on. No shots have been fired quite yet. Maybe trying to use that storm as a little bit of a barrier. Again, still no shots fired. I think maybe they're trying to line one up. Players moving quite a bit. I don't know if they're trying to coordinate a shot here, but just a very patient game so far from Brady and Nick, as they do not want to give themselves up. Don't want to give up their position. And it looks like we could see the launch pad get taken here. And if that's the case, they are definitely going to have to be wary. Can confirm that it is not Parker and Roland, so well, someone very close. They could push. Players are kind of separated, and we see Nick finally take some shots. Brady shooting as well, and to get the knock. And that's good team coordination there, as now they pounce onto this solo that they knocked and get the elim. Great coordination there from Nick and Brady, as there's still one teammate left. They don't know exactly where he's at. Looks like they're going to try to get back to their perch, continue to survey the little area, although they do see some shots on the visual audio indicator behind them. Usually another team, they see someone cruising across the map, decide not to take any shots though. And now I feel like we have to bring up the topic that Brady is in a very interesting situation because he's starting to coach Fortnite. So not only having the player perspective, but also the coaching perspective kind of opens the game up for you a little bit and makes you play a little differently. You know, you start to take your own advice. It's so much easier to see the mistakes than it is to play through them or to notice them when you're playing. So Brady in a very interesting situation, especially Nick also having someone like that on your team is monumental if used correctly. So let's see what Nick and Brady really continue to do as these drops go on, as the weeks go on, and Brady gets more comfortable coaching, and these guys continue to kind of work through chemistry and continue to play well together. As it looks like here, again, just playing so patiently, not giving up anything they don't want to. Maybe. No shots yet. Thinking about it, though. Decide not to take any shots. Gonna try and maybe use that drop as a little bit of a distraction here. They could pounce on that, as it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen as they beam one. We see a knock on one of them. Can they find the other? No. Nick starts to take some damage, has to build to keep himself alive. Gonna drink his shields here, as we see Brady still trying to apply some pressure onto that player on the care package. Looks like they were able to find the elim on the player that they knocked. Where did his teammate go? We don't know for sure, but really good kills there from Nick and Brady as they now move to 2. Although have to be careful, there's a lot of teams surrounding them at this point. Although Nick gets knocked out of nowhere. I missed it. I was taking a little drinky. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's Brady. Brady gets knocked out of nowhere. And now has to be careful here on 30 HP. Tries to edit out with a shotgun. Does land a big shot, but can't find a knock. Nick trying to break into the box. Trying to deal the final blows, but can't. Brady's going to get eliminated. And Nick has to be careful now as he's all by his lonesome. Tries to find an edit. Can't see anything because of the smoke, though. Such good plays there from Nick. Keep himself unpredictable. So in a decent spot here. He does have the reboot code. We could just see the wingsuit out here. I'm surprised we haven't seen that yet, if that's the decision that's going to be made. Maybe just trying to lurk. Although now you would have expected the other team would have healed up, so. Especially where that circle is. As we see, he does have it equipped. But forgot that it doesn't break builds and completely wastes the charge. I don't know if that was tactical or if that was just the biggest whiff of the century. I'm going to say the biggest whiff of the century. Actually, it might have turned out to work out for him a little bit as we saw a bunch of players go. And now we're going to see that wingsuit get used. He's going to get himself into that circle here. May try to go for reboot. Be really risky at this point in the game. Decides to land early. So many players flying in around him. Just decides to box up here. Not in circle yet. He's going to have to continue to move. tries to find a knock there and does find it. Catches a player out. He's going to find the elim. Hopefully find some mats, some materials, some heals. As he does. Has to be really careful though. Seems like another player or team is right above him. Looks like he's just gonna try and creep out here. Does take some unnecessary damage though. And gets right on the edge. And what a good circle pull. Nick right on the edge of both. And is getting peppered here. Has to burn a lot of mats, but continues to hold his ground. Doesn't panic by any means. Parker and Roland also still alive. But what a drop we've had from the GOATs. It's hard to tune away. So we're going to see Nick use this good storm pull to his advantage. And again, doesn't really have to move. Maybe he has to move a unit over. Just has to be careful that he doesn't get spotted by another team. We see some shots. Doesn't find anybody. Just decides to build back. He's going to move over. I think he's right on the edge. He might have to move over one more. And a team literally right next to him. As he's going to edit in a window. Find some damage on their box, but... And there we go. Doesn't take any damage. That storm is able to get out pretty quickly. And this time, though, not so fortunate with that circle pull. As it's pretty far away. 17 players left. 16 not counting Nick. A lot of pressure on him because he's down. He's going to use the wingsuit. Going to try to get across early. And just dive straight down. Doesn't try to keep any momentum. Builds up quick. Does take a lot of damage in the air, though. Has to use his med smoke. Going to combine it with the med kit to try to get back up to 200, or at least as close as possible. He does get to 200. But he's not done moving yet. He's not in that circle. Circle not even uncovered yet. Takes a shot there. Lands for 18. But he's in a sticky situation. Nick and Roland are also still alive. Or not Nick and Roland. Parker and Roland are also still alive. Nick decides to move now. Does get a little bit of damage put on him from behind. Tries to get some high ground. So far successful. Really good building skills from Nick that we're seeing here. I feel like this is the first time we've really seen him shine with this. Although it takes a lot of damage. He is out of storm, but just barely. And he's out of mats. Oh no. Has to try and find a kill here to refresh on mats. And gets sniped from the side. Unlucky for Nick. And it looks like Parker and Roland got eliminated at the same time. But a very good drops overall. You have to assume Parker and Roland finished at just about the same. Wow. What solid placements there. And what a solid drop we saw from Brady and Nick. A 7th place with, I think, 2 kills to close it out is very good. Very good. So those guys have to be satisfied with how they did. And I really just want to highlight Nick, man. At the end, we saw those situations can be so stressful. There's so many things going through your mind with the pressure and the gameplay and your teammate being dead and everything. And Nick just handled it as best as he could. We saw some really solid building skills there from Nick. I feel like this is the first time we've really seen him flourish in that. So huge shouts out to Nick. And I anticipate I'm also going to give some huge shouts out to Brady, as I assume that he was coaching him, being a good IGL the whole time. Brady is a great IGL. So even though we couldn't hear, we have to assume that that is what was happening. And also a huge shout out to the YOYOZ, those guys. And we didn't get to see exactly where they ended. We saw they were still alive. So I would assume maybe they got 6th, maybe they got 8th, somewhere probably right around where Nick and Brady also ended. So huge drops here from our Division 1 teams this week in our first drop. And of course, we still have another drop. So there is still more Fortnite action left. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a little step away. I'm going to try and fix Parker's stream issue. And I'm going to run to the bathroom. So until then, go to the bathroom, grab some food, do whatever it is you need to do, and we will be back momentarily. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I hope you guys did not miss me that long, as we are almost into some more Fortnite action. The drop codes are up. Just waiting for these drops to actually get started here. And unfortunately, we are not going to be able to watch Parker's perspective tonight. We would just have to deal with Roland's. His Discord bugging out a little bit, so it's okay. We handle things on the chin here. We move forward. That's all right. At least watch Roland's perspective. Shout out those guys for dealing with some tech issues as well as playing competitively in these drops. Ladies and gentlemen, hoping also to watch famous people a little bit this drop, as I'm pretty sure, again, they got eliminated very early in drop 1 and weren't able to watch them, so hopefully you can watch them a little bit. Hopefully you can watch the YOYOZ a little bit more. But what a great drop from the GOATs, also from the YOYOZ. Huge shout out to both of those teams, as realistically all 3 of these teams are still in contention to qualify for ESC, especially after drop 1 like the GOATs had. Those guys are doing anything they can to try to book their ticket. So huge shout out to that team specifically, as a lot of these teams, a lot of these students, they all want to go. They all want to go and experience that. And the thing about ESC is, wow, an event like that just brings up new challenges that you can't even think of and you can't even fathom preparing for. Playing in front of thousands of people with the crowd cheering and all that noise in your ears while you're trying to lock in and play on such a competitive level is hard. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's a hard thing to do. And I don't think a lot of these players have actually thought about that. Now, as maybe they start to qualify and those kinds of things happen, they may or may not start to factor those things in a little bit more. But I know, I will speak for probably most of the coaches here that that is something that we have thought of, and that is something that we are aware of. And any of our teams that do qualify, we are definitely going to have to try to work the best we can. Well, unfortunately, that's just one of those things that you can't really be taught. You can't really learn from words. You have to experience it yourself, have to go through that pressure, the crowd, the noise, everything all at once. I know I'm very fortunate. Some of my my Rocket League team have done it a couple times now. Maybe not to the scale that ESC is going to be, but have played in LANs, have played in-person LANs, and those guys have done great, and they've fallen through the cracks. So it is completely different. It is something that you have to experience it yourself to be able to handle it. So it will be really interesting to see, once a lot of these teams start to truly book their tickets, what the prep looks like for them. But we are just a few moments away, hopefully, from some Fortnite action. As we wait, we are going to start with the GOATs yet again. We have to start with them. Of course, they are the primary team, so we will start with them, but very quickly switch on over. And the interesting part is that 2 of the 3 of these teams are all in the same side of division. So now all of them in Division 1. But the YOYOZ and the GOATs are in that same half of the division now. We talked about that a little bit in the drop there, as they were actually pretty close to each other. We could have seen some combat between the 2. Luckily, we didn't see that, and that is something that is very possible. And famous people in the other side of division, we have teams on both sides of Division 1. So we have multiple teams on both sides of Division 1, I guess I should say. So at any point, a Valhallan Camp Hill team could eliminate another Valhallan Camp Hill team. It is something that we will have to keep our eyes out for. So we should be, again, pure moments away from Division 1 dropping here. Hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys are excited. Drop 1 this week gave us a very good taste of some competitive, high-quality Fortnite. Let's hope Drop 2 can do the same thing. Of course, you guys know I always like to apologize for a little bit of the inconvenience. I know you guys are busy, have busy lives, busy things to do. And of course, we appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys tuning in, watching the streams. Obviously, I appreciate it, as this is kind of my passion project that I was interned to do and have continued to do. So I really appreciate that from you guys, and it means a lot when you guys tune in and then really hang out, support. Also, we're still working on some of this stuff for Twitch, so still expect there to be a new package, new Twitch overlays, new stingers, new emotes, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So it is a work in progress. We have one individual working on that, so give her a little bit of credit. Our graphic design intern Sarah is doing a great job, so have to give her some leeway. She's grinding through all of it on her own, so we are very appreciative, but understand that that is a lot of work for one individual to do. So she continues to get those things done. I will continue to update you guys and continue to show them off to you guys, which is hopefully eventually you'll see a whole new starting soon and BRB and Stinger, and I won't have to talk about that because you'll see it with your own 2 eyes. But we do have some new emotes, which I will feature in the chat right now. So if you tune in, you can see our 2 free emotes that I just typed in the chat. Also, we have 2 subscriber emotes as well. So if you guys are subbed, you can use those emotes, as currently it is the coach emotes as our sub emote. So we have my emote, and we have Coach Jacob of the Valhallan teams. Still, some of the other coach emotes are a work in progress, so hang in there tight. Your favorite coach is getting an emote. It is a work in progress, whether it's Coach Kyle, me, Coach Jacob, Coach Jonathan, Coach Connor, whoever your favorite coach is, they are in the works. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have some Fortnite action as drops have started. So let's tune in and see how these 3 teams are gonna compare and hold up in drop 2 of week 3. Fortnite action. Again, gonna start with the GOATs. Gonna switch off of them pretty quickly to hopefully be able to get the YOYOZ and some famous people a little bit more screen time. But of course, we will be back to the GOATs. They're not going anywhere unless they die super early, which would be really sad and kind of depressing. But that's besides the point. We're gonna focus on the good and not the bad, and not give them that bad juju. Because it looks like maybe they're going... Actually, I think they're going to the exact same spot. A lot more of the glider icons on the visual audio indicator this time. And we see Nick start to look around. We're going to pop a switch on over to Brady. Brady actually sees someone right below him. Nope, never mind. I think that's someone. Maybe that's just a bird. I'm pretty sure that was someone's glider. Yes, okay, it was. I'm not crazy. I did see that. No, it doesn't look like they're going to the same spot. Maybe going to somewhere. Oh my gosh, that was almost tragedy. Tragedy almost struck for Brady. So he's going to take a couple shots here with that pistol. Does land a couple. Hits for 42. Actually, he wouldn't have taken any fall damage. Well, that would have... let me down on that one game. So they're going to loot up here. Well, in this sewer area, it's a very tricky area. If you get caught out here, very limited space. Very easy to get stuck in those sewers and then get eliminated early because you get caught out. Not the case for Brady and Nick as they get out of there pretty quickly. And we're going to see Brady do what Brady does best. Farm some materials and play solid fundamental Fortnite here. But while these guys loot up, we talked about wanting to see the YOYOZ and the famous people more. So let's tune in to the YOYOZ and see how their drop has started. As we tune into Roland's perspective here, and Parker having some technical difficulties And I actually looked at him. I really can't explain what was happening, so we are just going to be able to watch Roland's perspective for now, but that's okay. As we also see these guys farm up. And we see Roland here with the wingsuit. It's a really good option for escape. We don't know if Parker has one as well, but loot here not being great, but not being bad by any means for these two. And so it looks like the YOYOZ are also going to pick this place apart. Again, just another team that's so solid at fundamental Fortnite. We're going to tune into the third team. It's our first time watching them tonight. The famous people. Let's see how they're doing. Looks like we tuned in at the right time, as they might be going for an engagement here. And actually, Roston takes a little bit of damage. He's going to have to be careful. That's what they decide to do. Looks like he's going to back up. Try to get a different perspective. Miko's going to build. Try to get some height. Now we're going to use that height to their advantage here as that team is trying to leave. Right on the edge of circle here. Miko gets called out a little bit. Has to build. Does land a shotgun shot. Only for 25, though. He's trying to pin that player into Storm. Gets pinned in the Storm himself a little bit. At this point, only dealing 1 damage per tick. Some beautiful waterfalls there from Miko. So it looks like we're going to see Miko use that launch pad. But Roston got eliminated. Now watching Miko. Miko is in a rough spot as that team has all the momentum. And Miko's by his lonesome. Doesn't go back to get Roston's card. So we might see him try to buy it, but Miko does a great job keeping his momentum up, but also farming a little bit on the way. Now Miko has a lot of work to do early in drop 2. We saw a similar thing happen in drop 1. Well, we didn't see, we heard a similar thing happen in drop 1. And Miko still being chased here. Just tries to get out yet again. Decides to fight back a little bit. But mats are not endless here for Miko. And they are winding down a quick. He does get high ground. He does deal a lot of damage, but takes a lot of damage and gets eliminated early. Unfortunate drops there from the famous people. Let's tune back into the GOATs and see how they're doing. Very unfortunate there for the famous people. As we see Brady and Nick take down this boss. I'm going to take Brutus's shotguns. Don't mind if I do. And they get the chug jug. Nick and Brady's loadout is looking very solid here. And the cruel thing about Fortnite is you could play good drop 1 and have a rough drop 2. And unfortunately, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Heartbreaking for some of our players. that put hours and hours in this game just get eliminated early. But nothing is out of the question yet for any of these teams. Even a bad drop doesn't mean necessarily that you're not going to make it to the ESC. Just means you might need a little bit of luck. Which, hey, it's not necessarily a bad thing all the time. And it looks like here we're going to see Nick and Brady get into some combat as Brady does a great job landing 66 damage, excuse me. These guys are a little separated, both kind of fighting 1v1s here. Oh, Brady had an open shot but can't find it. Already kind of getting jumped on from behind. Land some good damage though. Can they find the knock? No, they can't. Such a missed opportunity there for this team. And now Brady peppering the side of this build. And Nick dropping down from the top. Brady landing there a couple shots. This is where that coordination has to be key. And we're just not seeing it. As Nick backs up and is just trying to mine his way in. They take the box though, and Brady finds a knock. Takes him all the way down to 25 health to do it, but he does find the kill. Has to back up now. And Nick finds the duo wipe. And that's a huge engagement for Nick and Brady as these guys play solid Fortnite drop after drop. Let's see how far they can go. While these guys are recovering from this engagement, we're going to tune on over to the YOYOZ and see how they're doing. Roland and Parker both still alive. And these guys are just using some natural cover here. Gonna hide in this bush, not give themselves away. Teams are so good at organization, although they are getting run down. Actually, this could be Nick and Brady as they're in those skins. And it is. We talked about it and it happened. We see Nick and Brady eliminate Roland. Parker is able to survive, but takes quite a bit of damage and now has to fight a 2v1 against some of his good friends and teammates here at Valhallan Camp Hill. What can Parker do to stay alive? Gonna try to get out. Use so many mats here. But Brady and Nick still in pursuit. These guys are hungry. Parker takes some damage and is going to get eliminated. And Nick and Brady are merciless against their own teammates, as they are the only duo left alive in this drop 2 of our stream games. And we just watched them eliminate one of our other teams. And now they're already back in another engagement. This is the kind of play we haven't seen from them all season. But it's working so well. It looks like they try to add another to the list. What are they going to do with this duo here? Brady decides to gain some space. Gonna try and pin them in with the circle here. Great game sense. A great call from Brady. And just looking at the edge of that box. Having such good knowledge of where they're going to come out potentially. And they are fully in the storm. They're going to have to move eventually. And the goats can just sit here and wait. Brady keeping his eyes open, looking for any kind of movement. And we see the wingsuits get deployed. We see Brady land 62, cracks the shield, but can't find any more shots. Oh my gosh, 63 there from Brady. No knock though. As it looks like now we're going to see the goats use their wingsuits here to rotate around, maybe onto this care package. No, looks like they might go for some natural high ground here as they go on some mountaintops. See another team rotating. They try to take some shots. Brady doesn't land any. Looks like Nick does. How many, we don't know though for sure. And a lot of shots getting exchanged here. But we haven't seen this team push in yet. Keeping an eye on their backs. They still have the storm right behind them, trying to find a knock there, but unfortunately just not able to find any shots. Don't have far to go. Although, absolutely beamed. And Brady goes all the way down to 0 shield. Just has to heal up here, buy himself a little bit of time. And Nick can now lay down some suppressing fire. Where'd my mouse go? So it looks like somebody's rebooting very close to them. They're going to try to take advantage of that, but they can't find any shots. And now we're going to see these guys try to rotate dead side, although another team is there. Nick only takes a little bit of damage, though. As these guys are getting pinched beyond belief. We see Coach Kyle join their call. Try to give them some coaching advice here. We're going to see them try to get some high ground here. Again, take a little bit of damage. Nick gonna use this chug jug. Gosh. Have to be aware of that team above them, though. They're right on the edge of this circle. Just gonna play some smart Fortnite here, try to wait some of these teams out. They really don't have to move yet, and even when they do move, they don't have to go that far. Although we see the high ground versus low ground difference meaning a lot here as Brady goes all the way down to 20 health and now has to heal up. Nick has to buy time to keep his teammate alive. Both back up to 200 though. They try to get into that circle, but can't find their way in it quite yet. Brady lands a shot there, but gets some damage taken on from somewhere else as they try to take advantage of that. As Nick is going to fall, and now Brady's got a lot to do here by himself. Picks up the mythic shotguns. The odds that he can revive Nick are so very low. Brady having his pickings here of the loadouts. And this is where games get stressful. And Brady gets blocked. What a big brain play. Oh my gosh. I don't even think he can be mad at that. Oh my gosh. That's so unfortunate. But what a way to get eliminated. I don't know if I was an audio or a visual or what kind of cue that player got. But the fact that he built Brady in so he couldn't wingsuit out and then edited to eliminate him is crazy work. That is a crazy work. Such a big brain play. And again, as unfortunate it is that they got eliminated, I don't think they can be mad at that because that's just crazy game sense from that player. And Brady and Nick still had a very solid drop, I believe 9th there. So with a few kills as well, but just unlucky there for the end. And a crazy game, crazy drops here from our teams. Week 3 of the spring season. Shout out to every team here at Valhallan Camp Hill. And I don't know, unfortunately, for those of you that may or may not know, my producer here, Tyler, had to step away as life is starting to require a little more from him. So it's now just me again. So well, there might have been little hiccups tonight, but we don't talk about those. So I'm gonna see if we can maybe get Brady and or Nick up here for an interview before they dip out. We'll at least get good old Coach Kyle coming up though.
What a night. What a night, buddy. How we doing? Ooh. Hello, everyone.
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm all right. It's a good night of Fortnite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to talk. I want to hear a little bit about the off-stream games before we get into the on-stream.
Absolutely.
ones.
Which off-stream games you want to talk about?
All of them.
Oh.
Give me a rundown. Give me just a quick summary.
Okay. So who did you stream? You streamed Nick and Brady.
Yep.
Parker and Roland.
Yep.
And then I'm not even gonna lie to the folks at home. I'm looking at your cheat sheet.
Yep.
You
That's
streamed,
okay.
Yeah. Then you streamed Rico and Rustin. So we had across the board some good stuff. I really have been very appreciative of Lachlan's kind of stick-to-itiveness. There's a lot of tough stuff going on in terms of especially our Roland is singing the song to Halo in the background. But in any case, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on that's really tough for him. And again, just for him to continue to push through drop after drop, I'm really proud of him for doing that in general. Sean and I think Gavin had just some great. Again, tonight was a tough night in terms of drops. Placement was kind of rough. Kills were sort of rough. But I think everyone just kind of was resilient, which is the big thing I want to highlight, right? Like Gavin and Sean didn't get higher than a 10th or a 12th place. But again, there was no negativity.
Yep.
They pushed through it. They took hard fights. They took hard kills. So in general, even the games off stream, I think they played hard. And I got to be happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we can talk about the on-stream games. And
Yeah.
I want to talk. We watched the GOATs a lot. We got to
Yes.
see them a lot tonight.
You did.
And I want to talk about, now you brought it up to me last week about how these players were kind of challenging each other to better the aspects of their game that aren't the best.
Yes.
And we saw that tonight.
Oh, yes.
We saw Brady frag out game
Yes.
2.
Yeah,
and
Brady turned into an animal
and
tonight. It was great.
chase down one of our other stream teams,
Yeah.
which is so funny. But can you talk to me a little bit about the development going on with that team?
Sure. I mean, again, this is, like you said, we talked about this last week. This is one of the things that we're constantly looking for when we're doing our partnership pairs, which is sometimes I'm looking for, another banner. Let's put it out here for a second, right?
Absolutely.
But a lot of times I'm looking for how does this partnership work to shore up things the other person is lacking. So we'll just use Brady and Nick as a great example. That's a team where they both clearly have one really highly defined skill area.
Absolutely.
Like for Nick, it's fragging. For Brady, it's in-game decision making. And so I was like, man, if I can get Brady's in-game decision making into somebody with Nick's fragging potential, that's huge. If I can get Nick's fragging ability into somebody with Brady's in-game decision making, that's huge, right?
Absolutely.
So we're trying to sort of come up with these merged pairs that really result in a strong overall finish, just in general, right? The other thing though to consider, right? It's not just skills necessarily; it's also mindset.
Yes.
So I had a conversation with another athlete tonight, and one of the things he was talking about was like, I don't know if I'm right for this pair, and I was like, you have to think about this partnership in terms of growth. Is this someone I am capable of growing with? And that's something I think about a lot for these kids. Maybe not necessarily skills, but if your mindset is in a similar spot as everybody else, then, even if you don't necessarily have like a complementary skill or a skill I want to like imbue in your partner, or if they have a skill I want to imbue in you, even if that's not the case, you have the ability then to sort of take a step back and say, all right, cool. I know what I want to do and I know how I want to execute this, right? I know how I want to build this relationship up because the mindset is the same. And, obviously those people who, watching the stream who've played traditional sports, I know you've played traditional sports. I played traditional sports. One of the best aspects of traditional sports is you get to grow alongside your team. You get to grow alongside the people that you play with. You get to grow alongside your coaching staff. You get to grow alongside the support staff that's with you. And as much as we like to highlight individual skills, one of the big things has constantly been, is this the right person for your mindset? Is this person going to encourage you to grow? And that's another thing we look for constantly.
And that's not always the case. Sometimes you do have bad matchups.
Yeah,
and that's gonna
absolutely
happen.
right. And you have, and it's just like real life. Like not every partnership
like every
is
single
a
person.
game-winning partnership, right?
Yep.
So you kind of have to figure it out from there, right? But there's always still something you can learn from somebody else, and that's a huge deal.
Absolutely. And now Nick and Brady are in I would say a more interesting position than any of our other teams because
100%.
Brady has now stepped into a coaching role.
Yes.
So he is starting to understand the game, I would say, at a different aspect. Obviously, you see a lot more in any game when you kind of take that step back and look at it from that perspective. So how much are you encouraging Brady to try and take that step back, but also still
I don't have to encourage him to. Today I watched him do it.
Okay.
Today I watched Nick IGL a fight. That's not Nick's job. Nick IGL the fight. There was no ego. There was no anything. Brady was like, all right, yeah, cool. He was making the right calls, and he was making the right calls.
Yeah.
So, not to say that I don't do my job, but he certainly makes it easy. You know what I mean? But no, I think to what you're saying though about the coaching thing, which is another reason we kind of encourage different types of relationship building here. If you're in a coaching position, you're not looking for victory so much. You're looking to shore up different things. You're looking to pair people with people who are complement them. You're looking to see how can I approach even a night that would be a quote unquote failure. How can I approach it from a growth mindset?
Exactly.
And once you start thinking like that as a player, sky's the limit for how far you can go, right? So that's just another, so again, for him to start taking that in is a huge thing. Like I would love
Absolutely
to get all of our players into a position where they could coach younger, more inexperienced players, or like lower division players. I'd love it. I would love it. But obviously that partnership, that relationship, you can't always do that for everybody. But man,
that takes a mindset and the ability to kind of take that step back. So coaching is not easy by any means.
No, it is not easy. There are many good players. There are not many good.
Yes, and I think Brady, one of the unique ones who deserves a lot of credit for being able to take that step back.
We jokingly, and I don't even think it means joke. We jokingly call him Coach Brady, like off stream.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's not. Yeah. We've been talking a lot about Brady and Nick, and rightfully so. They've done a phenomenal job. But I want to just highlight Easton and Cohen, who not one of your stream matches, but just bouncing back to the off stream matches. Just what I love about that partnership, like we're talking about growth potential, is that partnership. Like Cohen wasn't able to be here today. Did not seem to be much of a hitch in their step at all. Like they're still approaching it from the kind of like, all right, we got to take these kind of fights. That sort of snappy back and forth communication. Drop 2 was a little bit rough for them, but drop 1 was great. And it was great because even though they're not physically present in the same location, just because of scheduling, they still were able to approach it from like, we have to do this. And they did. And it was huge. So, there's a lot of players who I think maybe maturity is probably my watchword for this season, because like I'm seeing a lot of maturity
Yep.
in the players
Yep.
that I've got.
Absolutely.
And that's been huge. That's been tremendous.
And you can't teach that.
No, and that comes with time. It comes with experience.
Absolutely.
That comes with, handling failure with grace.
Of course.
Like tonight in general, probably not our best night in terms of drop placement. Well, that's not true. Drop 1 was really good. Drop 2 was not so good. But again, just to see people handle adversity,
Yep.
failure, difficulty with maturity is huge.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Al, thank you so much for your time up here. Congratulations on some, maybe not great Fortnite, but
No,
some
it's
very
not-
solid Fortnite all
you
around.
know what?
and
Some-
great out of game.
Yeah,
growth.
maybe
There we
not
go.
great Fortnite, but great Fortnite players.
Yeah,
I think we'll
there you
take
go,
it
there
for
you
that.
go.
Thank you, Coach Christian.
Thank you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here at Valhallan Camp Hill. Keep an eye out. Stay tuned, as we will be back on Thursday for some Valorant. You guys know Valorant always on Thursdays. Still trying to figure out some of the other days, but hey, we go with things here. We go with the flow. We see what comes up. Let's go down. So, keep an eye out for all the fun updates. Keep an eye out for the next stream. And until then, for myself, Coach Christian, and everybody here at Valhallan Camp Hill, thank you guys so much. Good night, everybody.